You did all the right things. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe this is your story. You went to college or you found a really great job right out the gate. You put the time in. You jumped through the hoops and lined your life up in a way that felt like it was what you knew you needed to do and it was where you wanted to go. And you got there and you thought, "Is this it? Is this it?" I'm 35, 40, 45, 50. And I'm all of a sudden like, I got here. I did all the things right. I heard a friend talk about this today. I'm going to circle back to this story for her. And somehow I don't feel at all in the right place anymore. And what once got me up every day and felt so exciting and passionate and creative and exactly me living into my purpose now doesn't feel anything like that. Is this you? Have you been there? You feel this niggling sense, and I want you to really lean into this. There's a sense that you're supposed to be doing something else now. And there's this awful kind of rub, if you will, this dissonance, because it's like, wait a minute, but if I did all these things, I did all the right steps. I got here and it feels like this. Is this it? Is is what is my purpose? Is this all that there is, right? And so if this is you, then hi, my name is Jen. I'm the founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness. I'm a transformational purpose coach and expert. And what I do is work with women just like you to get super clear about how they got where they are, where they want to go, and how you do that. And you're going to hear me say this over and over and over again as you follow me, because that's what I do. And what I really love to do is support women in their journey using my unique brand of coaching that combines all of my very favorite healing modalities and certifications built on a foundation of my clinical practice of over 20 years. And so I worked with hundreds of clients, over 15,000 hours of time providing clinical care to people. And so I've been around a minute, right? I've been around a minute. And I too have the same story. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about my story today. And some of the myths we have that I think are really powerful. So we're going to be talking about the soul compass because that's really kind of we're in the last little stretch here of my content for the month, and this is when I'm really get fired up on. So I'm bringing in the fire today. And you're probably going to feel like you drank from a fire hose, and so I'm going to apologize in advance. But I also hope that what it does is inspire you. And so I want to talk about how I got here. You know, one of the things that's happening as I do summits and talks and podcasts and things like that is people say, like, how did you get here? How did you arrive in this space? And I'm like, well, do you have 4 hours? It will not take me 4 hours to say this. But I really want to say that, you know, in my journey, one of my biggest visions I had was of being in the field of psychology, and social work was my venue, right? That's not everyone's. That was my wheelhouse. That felt really like home to me when I started taking those classes and started on this path. And I think once I got on it, it was like, well, this is what you do, right? Like you pick a thing, you do the thing. That's what we do. That's what responsible people do. And worked my tail off, you know, in my bachelor's degree, got done, worked a year, definitely knew I did not just want to be doing that anymore. And so definitely felt inspired to go do my graduate program. Did that for a year. I did an accelerated program, which was everything really condensed in a short amount of time. Graduated, put my time in, worked in community mental health. I worked in a day treatment for a couple, 3 years. Then I worked in community mental health for about 2, 3 years. So I put some time in, right? You do your, right. Everyone, if you're in any of these fields that you know, where you kind of have to do like the internships and the practicum, and you have to get the hours and you got to, then you take your big licensure. It's a whole thing, right? Did all this work and felt so driven to want to support people in the mental health realm. That was really what I just felt from a very young age that I was meant to do. I knew I was meant to work with people. I mean, that was kind of always a given. And but I knew I had the itch in my practicum. I was able to work in a private practice. I got a super, like, I don't even know how that all came to fruition, some big, gigantic blessing, honestly. And so I got to work in a private practice and watch that journey from behind the scenes, which was really cool to see. And initially I wanted to do it and they didn't let me. I was like, can I stay? They were like, no, we think you need to go get some experience. They were very supportive and sweet about it. They were very gentle about it. And now I can see, I'm so glad they said no. I wasn't ready. I definitely wasn't ready. Like you think you're like, I can do this. Like you're not ready. And they were coming from a place of wisdom, so I trusted them. So even though it was a little hard to hear, it's like, okay, I need to go somewhere else and do something else. And so that really expanded into the rest of this journey. And partway through working underneath other people, I realized I didn't love that part of it because someone else was defining the clients that I saw, how I scheduled. It was all the things. I was like, this is just not for me. I don't like someone defining for me how I provide client care. I never have. I get super snotty about it. And so I decided I really wanted to have a private practice. I kind of knew back in the day. And so we launched this brilliant practice, 3 women. And I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that piece of this journey. And just looking back in the story now is so profound to me. Like this crazy, it's almost hard to believe, right? If you've been there someone in your life where you're like, oh my God, I can't, back in the day, I can't even imagine and believe this is where I came from. And for many years, I want to be clear, that private practice was gold for me. We created a mission statement. I felt like we lived into it. We added people, some people left. I mean, it was just that attrition, that like life journey that happens, that some things stay, some things fall away. And so that's just like, that's going to be standard protocol for any business. I think over time, it's going to shift and change and morph. And so what happened was with time, that business and the energy of that business shifted profoundly. And pretty soon I felt like I was sitting in a business that I didn't recognize. And I could talk for 2 hours, which I won't, on all of the things that landed me in that place, if that makes sense to you. But the truth is that I had also changed the business, the face of the business had changed, and clearly the mission was nothing like where it started. And I was just like, this is not the vision I had. So I would say this. I want to speak today into the heart of the women that are listening to me. I want to speak into the heart of the visionary. And here's how I think this is so fascinating. So this is a part of the story I don't necessarily tell very often. So in the beginning of this private practice, I got really passionate about wanting to collaborate with community leaders that were offering holistic wellness approaches. So acupuncture, yoga, all the things. I wanted to bring practitioners together to create a relationship so that clients could have a comprehensive experience. So I think what's interesting is I was trying to pioneer it at that time, and it just was hard to get everyone's schedules to come together, and it really wasn't being done yet. So I think this is so funny because I think this was really before there was like holistic, literal like educational programs. Like it's so funny to me to think about it now. It's just like I was like thinking about this and super passionate about it before it was like a thing. And the one thing that I think I always knew in my soul was that you're wired to do healing in layers. So by all means, I hope you get a good coach, a good therapist, etc. But what I want you to think about is, are they addressing all the layers of your being? Okay. So in psychotherapy, one of the very traditional things we're going to find is that someone is going to address, understandably, the mental and emotional components of your being. But you're made up of so much more than that. And I think what happened so I had that idea in my head. So there was this vision, okay, as a visionary, that I felt that was what I needed to harness. It kind of died off because it just we couldn't figure out, I don't think, how to like put that all together. And years later, I became what I wished I'd had. And this is how I think visionaries, that soul compass, I think vision and soul compass are directly aligned. Okay. And so fast forward, I'm not super happy anymore in the practice. And it's strangely not the clients. The clients are like the only thing that kept me going. If I hadn't loved my clients, I don't know. I don't know what it would have looked like. That's all I can say. My clients kept me going. Right. And I'm starting to feel this really pretty deep dissatisfaction. And I've said, and you will hear me say, right, I dreaded Mondays. I prayed for Fridays. I just was willing time away. And I want you to hear that. I was willing time away. Are you there? I'm speaking to the woman who's going to hear me say this. And what I'm asking you is, are you willing your time away? Have you gotten so far off the mark of where you started in that business, that corporate path, wherever you are, and you somehow now know you're meant to be doing something different and you're scared as shit to move off of that marker. So what happens, that soul compass, if you imagine the needle is like it's magnetically pulling this way and you're like, "No, must stay the path." Is this you? I stayed in my business probably 4 or 5 years too long. Now, in the big picture, I know I needed to stay. Someone needed me there. So in the big picture, I don't it's not a regret. I want to be very clear about that. I also want to say I know I had a niggling awareness that my arrow, that ticker marker for my north, my true north, was no longer there. And I didn't want to listen. Why? Here's why. Let's talk about the reasons why we might dig our heels in. I had the dream. I had the dream. I had the dream. I built the dream business that is successful. Who am I to complain? And I'm defeated. Like, what's wrong with me? Something must be broken. If I'm in here and I'm not happy and I had to work my ass off to get here and I'm not feeling more, what's wrong with me? Like, something's broken. And I was exhausted and disappointed. And my energy levels were totally different. I stopped feeling excited to take things in the way that I once did, right? It was hard. It was so hard. I am not exaggerating to you. On Friday, as I would be packing up my shit, this is what I would say: I'm fucking out of here. Listen to those words, and I'm not going to say it again, right? Because I know, right? I know everybody's not a swearer, or I am. I am the F out of here. I don't think there was a more telling marker than the energetic expression of those words. I'm effing out of here. And what I was really saying is I need the F out of here, right? What I was really saying to myself was, I got to get the F out of here because my soul is dying. My passion is gone. The minute that I walk in this door, I don't feel the same. And when we were at a pivotal moment, and this is a really like big pivot in the story, and this is one of those things that I love talking about. We thought we were going to lose the business. One of our owners decided to go off and move and shift gears, and we absolutely panicked. When I say panic, I mean all fire, all hands on deck, sat our team down, horrible conversation. Hey, I just want you to know, real sorry about this. We might not have a practice in a month or two. Prepare yourselves. I mean, imagine it was like being in an airplane and they're like, hey, oxygen mask comes out. Yeah, right. Right. This is where we were. We were absolutely panicking. And I valued that team of people so much. They literally supported our business. Those people working for us and with us supported paying our bills, supported paying my bills. I have deep regard for that shit. So to sit across from people that I felt responsible for, their families, and say, hey, we might be failing. One of the hardest moments in my business. I didn't expect that. You know what they said? For that transparency in that awful moment, they said, we're not leaving here until the doors close. I would have never asked for that kind of loyalty. I don't even know that we deserved it. But what they said was, we're not leaving till the doors close. And we were so touched and so shocked. And so we just held on. But in the interim, what happened was we really thought it was going down in a blaze of glory. And my business partner said, "Well, I think my wife and I are going to go off into a mom and pop shop sort of place. So I'm not sure what you're going to do." Okay. Not like, "Hey, we're going, come with us." Well, no, it was like, we're going to go do our own thing. And I was like, okay, well, like, thanks for thinking of me." So I went home and Laughing Lotus Wellness was born. I went home and I thought, what have you always been passionate about? And it was about all of the layers of the person. I knew it. And I couldn't do it exactly the way that I wanted it. And so I thought, okay, Jennifer, this is the moment. And so I gave birth to Laughing Lotus Wellness. Was it brilliant? Not at all. Did I have a great plan? Not at all. Was I clear? Not even sorta kinda. I was like, we'll address all the layers of the person. I'm still talking about it, but it's so much more clear now. Oh my God. It was throwing spaghetti at a wall. And I was so, get this, fucking excited. I didn't know what the hell it was going to look like. I didn't know how the hell it was going to work. And all I knew was I finally felt excited again. Excited to get up, excited to create content, excited to connect, to rebirth and give some beautiful thing a vessel, a voice of what I knew from all of my wisdom. And then what happens this, and this is just a brilliant part of the story. We do great. We do great. The business. We're making money. No one left. Everyone stayed. We do great. Now what? Because now my partner says to me, "Hey, Jen, this is actually going really great. We should just keep doing what we're doing." And here's how I knew. Here's how I knew. Have you been here? Listen, lean in. A voice inside of me, as loud as you can imagine, screamed, "No. No." I knew the very moment he said, "We should stay. This is great." No. Did I listen? No, I didn't. So I nodded. Here's some lessons. Please listen. Please lean in. My soul compass, listen to this. My soul compass is screaming inside my person. No, it knew that magnetic pointing arrow knew I was not in the right space. And I nodded and I smiled and I went along with it. So what happened was Laughing Lotus Wellness gets tabled because I can't be a business owner, and right. And so I started to eke my way out. I did this sort of slow death, if you will. I started getting certification in yoga. I started building all of these healing certifications because I really knew that was where I was being called. So I just start building up this momentum for this energetic piece, right? And finally, I step out as a business owner. I sign off on my shares. I'll never forget that day and signing the paperwork. I went to Brian. I said, I, this is not what I'm being called to do in exactly this way anymore, and it's not fair. I can't show up to this business. I've got a foot in the door here, and I've got a foot in the door here. I'm going to be doing yoga training. I'm not in here. I can't be fully in here, and for the clients and for the business, I want to show up for the clients. And so we made arrangements. I signed out of the business, and it was both one of the most tragic days and one of the most magical, because the day that we signed that was my making a final commitment to marry Laughing Lotus Wellness. That's what it was like. We're done dating. We're done thinking about it. We're done skirting the issue. Um, this is it. I am leaving this business. And I knew I was leaving, just not when. And with all of my fear, here's what I want you to hear today. There was so much fear. If I ever talk to women, one of the things I always know is that I can see the face of fear in a woman. I can see two things actually that I lied. I see two things. I see your vision and I see your fear. How do I know it? Because I was that. I was in that place. I was you. I had a super successful, thriving company, and it wasn't mine anymore. And it is scary as hell to take a leap, to not have any. I had certainty. So imagine, I want you to really sit in this for a minute, right? And this is not me being facetious. This is not me tooting my own horn, by the way, at all. I mean, it took me 5 effing years. I'm not bragging. Okay. I don't have an Academy Award for this shit. It took me so long. I went from certainty and strain to uncertainty and absolute joy. And between those two places was a crevasse the size of, I don't even know, Texas, filled with fear. Um, how do I do coaching? How do I move into this business? How do I tell people what I'm doing? How do I make this transition? Will people think I'm effing crazy? People would say to me things like, "You're the happiest person that I know. You're the most put together person I know. You're the most," so you have this identity around, for how many years did I say with absolute pride? I am a licensed independent clinical social worker. I'm a therapist. You know how long it took me to garner respect? I worked my ass off for my reputation in the psychotherapy community. I was never as complimented as I was when a client would refer someone that they knew to me or another professional would. I had so much pride in that. So for me to shift gears out of a wheelhouse that I knew like the back of my hand, I had a system. The notes, the DAs, the clients, new people, marketing, DDB, DBDB, all the things. I gave birth to this business, to this company, and I knew it like the back of my hand. And so, one of the biggest hurdles I see in my coaching clients, in women, even the ones that don't hire me, right? I don't get hired by everybody, right? But even the ones that don't hire me, I want to do what you did. I want to do what you did. What are they talking about? Stepping into that effing fear, listening to the inner soul compass. So it's not, I feel like people think there's this imaginary, magical sort of fairy dust, right? And I have the ability to make things look really easy. I learned it a long time ago. It's a family story. If you grow up in families that like we always look good all the time, and we always have this look, right? I am an expert, and I've had to make myself step out of that space to talk much more clearly and authentically, so that people don't have this imagination about what it's like. Um, it was terrifying to leave. Absolutely terrifying. But I was exhausted. I was passionless. I was rudderless. It was like being in a ship in the ocean with no direction whatsoever. That There is nothing that's more wretched to me. I'm being totally honest with you. Being in the world without feeling driven by that arrow, that true north, there's nothing more awful to me in this lifetime than that. So I want to speak into the heart of that fear that I know women have. And so they'll come to me and they'll say, "Jen, I know I want to do something different, and I'm super, super scared to go do it. I'm super scared to like, I was talking with someone this week, oh, in a summit, and I said it's like taking off the big rope off that big pylon, right, on the deck of a boat. You're taking it off and you're pushing away. And that is the scariest shit you will ever do. And by far and away, every time I've taken a risk in my life, listening to my true north marker, the happier and more fulfilled that I am. So I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have to kick fear in the effing face. You're going to have to take risks. If I could tell you, and I mean, no joke, if I could sit with you and say, the money that I've invested in being here, sitting with you right now, my personal well being, my professional well being, coaching, healing services, um, books, certifications, all by choice. I'm not asking you to pat me on the back, all by choice. I have invested with absolutely zero certainty. Let me say it this way, 0% guarantee that it's going to be what I need it to be. I have 100% hope, faith, and trust in myself. Know why? In my life, when things have been shit, I find a way. If it doesn't exist, I create it. I want to live a life at the end of my days that I look back and I don't have regret. And had I stayed in that private practice, had I stayed doing psychotherapy, would I have been a miserable person? No. I freaking love my clients. Did I love the grind? The daily anxiety about holding all of these things together? Not one iota. I would have regretted not stepping with both feet into that scary space, pushing away from the dock, pulling up that big rope, and just trusting that the wind and the journey was going to get me where I needed to go. That I was being called somewhere so effing firmly, I had to just listen. And so this is what I did. And so what I want to invite you to do, and today I was like gonna have more of a fluffy talk, and then I did all of this, like I did like a online conversation this morning, professional online about a summit. I was in some training, some spontaneous training today, like just with all of these beautiful women, my friends, these really powerful women. And when you're in that kind of wheelhouse, they're all visionaries. Oh my God. And we all have the same sort of story that we could have stayed with something and been okay. But instead, when we were called and we felt like that true north, that soul compass was telling us that we were off, we decided to listen. And if I said to any single person who wants to do something different, they want to make a lane change, this is going to be easy. There is nothing about the journey that I've been on and the journey that other women are on that has been easy. One of my beautiful friends today got in and talked about, I did all the things right. I did all the things right. I did the trainings, I put my things together, I put it out there, and I'm exhausted. And that vulnerability, that transparency, that's like a real thing. Like she talked about how much it costs for education behind the scenes, what her bills are like, what the experience is like trying to host one full-time job and do another. And I appreciated so much her authenticity about what that journey is like, because it isn't a straight line. Mine was not a straight line. I did not wake up one day and go, oh, Laughing Lotus Wellness it is. And then I just dropped everything and I did it. I couldn't do that. That wouldn't even been responsible, truthfully, right? Here's what helps me. It helps me to be surrounded by other women who say yes, who are visionaries. My friend, I'm staying her visionary. Right now, I'm holding space for a time that feels really hard for her, knowing I know in my heart how powerful she is and where she's going to go. Another woman I know of finally jumped ship She knew she was being called somewhere else. I love seeing that shit. I love watching women. There is nothing I love maybe more. I'm be honest, right? I just talked today, like, what are you grateful for? I'm like, connections. For me, every single thing that's valuable in my life are the people I connect to. It's the people in my socials, it's the people that I'm surrounded by, it's my coaching communities, it's my membership. I freaking love, I freaking love hanging out and seeing people rise up because I don't come from an easy place. When you carry on real, authentic, vulnerable conversations with women, and this is what I've come into finally, 47, being in community with women that will say, yeah, I've been through some really serious shit. I've been through some really serious shit. Not just hard, having kids, doing marriage, like really serious shit. And to watch them rise up, trust themselves, take a huge risk, step into the fear, and listen to that inner knowing that they're being called to do something bigger, better, different. There's nothing I love more than that because I just know after so many years of sitting across the couch from people that you are wired for two things. One, resilience. You are wired with absolute resilience. If you doubt it, we'll have a whole nother private conversation. Two, energetically, you are absolutely wired for peace and organization inside your soul. Your innate state of being, your intended nature is absolute peace. And when it doesn't feel that way, when it's so hard, something's wrong. So when you're dreading your Monday and you're praying for your Friday and you're willing time away and you lost your passion, you lost your creativity, you lost your freaking juice, you don't feel like what you're doing, you could stand up on a box and talk about it for 6 hours straight and inspire the masses, then something is wrong. And so I want to be a trailblazer, a beacon of light for the women out there who freaking know it's time to do something different and are scared. Because I got news for you. I can help you with your fear. I can help you face that scary shit, the scary voices that are coming up within you. I'm going to teach you to listen to that voice, like the one that screamed no when I knew it wasn't meant for me. I'm going to tune your ears into that. And I'm going to be your yes woman. And I'm going to surround you with yes women. Because the visionaries, the people that come from that heart space that know that they have something to do, are the people you got to spend your time with. I had the beautiful opportunity to spend time with two women who are just brilliant and doing their thing in their wheelhouse and are incredible powerhouses in their own light. And I know so many now in this last year and a half. I see so many. And I see the fire. I see the fire. I see the light in them, the fight, the insight, the awareness that they're being called somewhere, and the absolute bravery that it takes to step into that because it is scary as hell. So, despite the fact that some people in our lives can make it look very easy, I know women that I've thought the same thing. I looked at them, I thought, shit, they didn't have to do much. They just got handed this, or they just got the right opportunity, or they just, hell no. If you start having really serious conversations with these women, you start to really hear the story, the struggle. There's none of us that aren't in, like the lotus, we're not in the muck. We're not in the dank, dark, dirty struggle of life, right? None of us. We don't get to be immune to it. And yet we rise. And that rise is that true north. That rise is in the listening, it's in the leaning in, it's in the trusting the inner knowing of the inner voice that is telling you that you need to do something different. And I want to be clear about how effing hard that is because I just think it can be so easy to look at someone's story and dumb it down into a little box this big and be like, yeah, she just did that. Yeah, she just had it made. She just got lucky. No, she didn't get lucky. She was brave. No, she didn't get lucky. She worked her ass off. She didn't get lucky. She was creative. She didn't get lucky. She invested. She put her heart and soul on the line to stand for something so important to her soul. She wouldn't let anything get in her way. That's different. And I am super lucky to be around so many women that have this same connection. And I want you to be with me. I want you to join with me. I want to support as many women. I want to influence as many women as I can absolutely inspire from now till I'm gone to step into this light. And you know what's bigger than that? Is that the more that I step into my light, I invite you to step into yours. You invite someone else. We, trust me, ripple effect, send out purpose in waves. When I do mine, someone else does theirs. When they do theirs, someone else does theirs. You see what I'm saying? Furthermore, when we step into our strength and our power, we teach other women. We teach our children how to do this. And I want you to think for a moment for yourself. If you're a mom or if you're not, it matters, but go here for a minute with me, please. You're a woman to other women. You got friends. You maybe got sisters. Even if you don't have children, it is not a child required thing. But I want you to imagine, would you like it to be easier for the next woman? Would you like her to struggle less? Would you like her to do it more quickly? Would you like your daughter, niece, sister, friend to know her worth? What would that be like? What would it be like to step into your own power? What would it be like to trust your inner knowing and that beautiful arrow pointing north? What would that be like? When we do it, we make space for other women to do it. When we do the hard work, when we share vulnerably, like my beautiful friend did today, we give other women permission to do it too. I have news for you. My daughter's 17. My daughter's a senior in high school. She's watching every single thing I do. Every single thing I say to myself, every single action I take, she's watching every single step of the way. Do I want her to be 40 before she finally says, you know what, if someone says something rude about that to me, someone says something mean to me, it's not about me. Nope, I don't want her to be 40. Do I want her to wait 5 years to listen to that compass? Nope, I don't. Do I know what that time was like? Awful. Yep, it was isolating, it was hard, it was defeating, it was disappointing, it was exhausting. I was anxious, I was sad, I was confused, I felt uncertain, I felt not sure about where my life was going. That is not an experience I want another woman to have to live through any longer than it's absolutely necessary. So I want you to imagine, I'm going to invite you in that when you listen to that compass, when you step into your light, when you step into that fear, when you take on that bravery and you wear it like a freaking cape, you are inspiring another woman to do the same effing thing. That what you're doing is so much bigger than even you? Can you have a visionary view, an expansive view about where you want to go and who you're taking with you? Can you have that? So this was longer than I wanted it to be, but I knew I was feeling the fire. I knew I was super passionate about wanting to talk about this because this soul compass is so crucial. This inner listening, this relationship you have with yourself and your soul is one of the most important you will ever have in your entire life because it is that voice. When I shared that story about that voice that was screaming in my head, that was that soul compass. And it was super aware about where I needed to go and what I needed to do and what was not right for me. And so I want that for you. And I want you to know that as scary as it is, there are so many women out there who want to lock arms with you, who want to bring you with them to support whatever vision you have on your heart that is never an accident. You don't get given gifts, uniques, talents, and visions that you can't step into. You are wired with the ability, I told you very early, energetically, you are wired for goodness. You are wired for organization and peace. And when your life feels anything but, you gotta back up and look at it. So I'm calling out to that woman who I know can barely pull herself out of bed, who has to talk herself in to going to work every single day. I'm talking to her heart. And I want her to lean in. I want her to trust that even in that very scary space, there is something for you. And to get the support of the right person for you to help you in that journey. That soul compass is your greatest gift. That inner knowing that it's always right there with you. It's telling you when something feels good. You're being shown all the time. And I had so many signs that things were a mess, so many. But my head said, but I created this. I'm responsible for this, for these people. I said I was going to do this to my clients. Who am I if I leave this place? And again, sitting here today in front of you, sharing this journey and this story, I'm not making money like I once did. Not yet. So this is not coming from a place of I'm making $1 million and it's super easy for me to dole out all my nuggets of wisdom to y'all. That's not what this is like. This is a work in progress. This is investing even when I'm afraid. It's getting up and doing the thing even when no one listens or watches. That the fire inside of me, that's what you're experiencing. And the fact that every single day I can get out of bed and I can appreciate who's looking at me in the mirror, that this feels aligned and congruent again, that's what you're looking for. I did not want to get to the end of my days and say, what the hell did I do with my time here? I don't want to will time away anymore. Have you done this? Have you willed time away? Wish that the weeks would go faster? I did for years. That's not living. I hate to bust your hump. I hate to be that person. But I'm going to look you in the face and say that's not really living. Doing a job every day that you hate is not living. I'm sorry. We aren't designed to live that it's so hard. You're actually not designed for that. You're designed for joy. You're designed for greatness. You're designed to feel peace. So if it's so hard, something's or wrong. And it's really time to evaluate that and listen to the wrongness as one of your big tells that something is not your compass, not aligned. It's not in your true north. To back up, take a look, figure out where you can make some adjustments, adjust those sails, get some support. If I had not talked to people along the path of this journey, I would not be sitting here today. If I did not share my vision, my questions, my struggles, I would not be here today. I would still be sitting in a private practice. So you need connection. You need support. You need to find those people that will hold space for your vision and share it with you. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. As we close, one, that was a fire hose, and I'm sort of sorry, but not sorry. I cried a little bit. It happens. I want to say that I want to invite you to work in this soul compass work, but I also want to invite you to a free webinar I have coming up. The free webinar is on Wednesday, March 16th. It's from 7 till 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is free. It's called Uprise, Tapping into Your Energy. And so what I'm going to be doing is talking about one of my all-time favorite subjects ever, which is energy. And we're going to have an experiential evening of tapping into that and learning some tools and then having some experiences. That's what I love to do. I love experiential stuff. So we're going to be doing that. And what does a prize mean, right? A prize to inform. Your energy is always informing you. My energy was informing me when things were a mess. And I didn't listen. And so I hope to inspire other women to be listening sooner and to begin working in that layer of your being, that energetic layer, to start really hearing that voice much more clearly, right? Clarity, 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 clarity is queen. So if you'd like to sign up, I would love to have you join me. It's free. It's an hour and a half. I've got 2 bonuses, not one, but 2 bonuses for anybody that attends, which is really cool. And so I'm telling you, you will not want to miss that. And so if you want to sign up, you go to laughinglotuswellness.com/webinar. laughinglotuswellness.com/webinar. All I need is your email so I can send you the link. So get signed up for that journey with me, and let's dive in together to learning some of the tools that I have learned and use all of the time that I truly believe have changed my life. I want you to have the same tools. They don't belong to me. And our job in this lifetime is to share resources. And that's what I'm really going to be doing, is my passion, but also a resource so that you can have those skills and tools accessible as well. Okay. All right. So I would love to have you. Again, it's laughinglotuswellness.com/webinar, free hour and a half of energy work and chatting and conversation. I've already started building it. There's so much content. It could be like a 3-hour class. I'm a little bit like, I have to take things out because I know it's just so much material because I get so excited. I'm going to have to like water it down a little bit. But I am bringing the fire to you for this. And I know you're going to have an experience. That always excites me. And so if any of this is something that you're like, I kind of know I need to step into something and I don't really know how to do it. And what the hell is energy work anyway? Please come to this. Please come to this. Okay. I truly guarantee you're going to have an experience. You're going to learn some things. And I love, love, love that. So laughinglotuswellness.com/webinar. Okay. So please pass it on. Let a friend know, invite a friend, bring 3 friends, bring them all in. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to talk. We're going to learn, and we're going to have some experience in the body. I'm going to for sure walk you through probably two at least exercises, maybe 3. We'll see what we have time for. I've got to finish creating it. I've got a lot of slides. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do. That's on me. Okay. So I hope to see you there. laughinglotuswellness.com / I cannot say that / /webinar. Until next time, this was a lot. This is Jen with Laughing Lotus Wellness, and I am sending you blessings, love, and light on your rise into your purpose. And I hope to be able to inspire and share space with you as you make that leap, as you step into that space of fear and the unknown, and you're trusting that vision you have, that is like literally one of my favorite things on the planet. So I hope that I get to share space with you and hold space for that to support your journey as you rise. Okay. We'll see you next time, everyone. Blessings, love, and light.